Greetings and welcome back for the Easy Run video. We'll be doing episode 2. Let's get into the spirit of things, the Yuletide spirit, and bring it to Twisted.
Your first job is
They
to
must
assist
know
the
all
SWAT.
about Christmas.
Then dive into Gabriel's body for your mission.
Anyway, the first feat is to use overdrive kill and kill the enemy. I think it's about good 7 or 10 times. For this case, I did bring a lightning's weapon again because, well, I should have brought a weaker shotgun or something to stagger them much easier. But, I was lazy and I kind of forgot, so it worked out in my favor anyways. And, I do remember that I mentioned in the thread that somebody asked what in the world they had just seen with episode 2, and what I can explain without ruining the plot too much is the reason why Gabrielle Monsini just disappearing. Well, she was the bee monster. You would, if you had paid it, if you had, that's not good, but if you were paying attention, over our banter, talk back and forth, you would notice Gabrielle's voice talking through rather distorted, but yeah, the boss would be talking to you with Gabrielle's voice, which would be the big hint. Just like with Emily when you fought her in the sacrifice. And up here is the second feat. Kill the roller quickly. Of course, I make that look easy because I have the best sniper in the game playing on easy. But anyway, when you get to that area in the cutscenes where you dive into her, then a cutscene comes. That's basically like diving into their psyche, and that's like a representation of their two consciousness merging or something like that. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. It's the best way that I know of explaining it, but it's like their two minds merged together and they can sort of talk to each other like in person. And I have a bit of a sniffle and a bit of a frog down my throat. It's because, well, as you can hear right there, I slept a little too much and, no, forgot to drink a lot of water, so I'm pretty parched. So, you'll, excuse me if I don't sound like at the top of my game. Anyway, as I was mentioning before, with Gabby. Oh, and well, I guess I can mention that. Yeah, the rover. The next feat is to kill the rover quickly. This should be simple, as all I need to do is spam shots with unlimited ammo and then overdrive kill.
The light will paralyze you if you get caught.
But yeah, that orb thing, go for it. If you want to make it easier on yourself, even on the hardest difficulty, get one of the best snipers that you have available to you and bring the unlimited ammo cheat. That would be the easiest way to do it, at least. And always make sure your sniper is fully upgraded. I can't stress enough about that. Anyway, as we were going, and basically, you know how Twisted, when they die, that they sort of just explode and disappear? Well, the theory is because Twisted live outside time and space, and they come from the future, devouring anything they can as they travel back into the past more and more when the food runs out. Well, the idea is basically that when you kill a Twisted, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore. Though the people before, when they got turned into Twisted, they exist. It's a little bit of a gray area.
There's a good chance that's the one emitting the clouds.
But Gabby was erased from the present, and that's why she disappeared from Owen. About them becoming Twisted, though, that'll be why people being turned into Twisted, bosses, whatnot. That'll be explained, don't worry. This game, at least it does something right. Aside from the good action, of course, but story-wise, it does one thing right. It at least makes sure there's as few loose ends tied up as possible in as short amount of time as it's done. Usually it just turns into well, it is a big clusterfuck. But it all gets explained, and it's not a good explanation, most of it. And yeah, I'm dishing out the pain to everyone today, apparently. But, like with Emily, yeah, Gabby is dead now. We killed her. And we will be seeing more on the whole
Aya, you're almost done. Keep up the
whole
good work.
story, and there'll be a little bit more interesting developments in the next episode. And that's when the game's story turns, by the way, really into shit. Pardon my French, of course. But yeah, you'll see. Something else I'd like to point out is, you know, I'm meaning to talk about this, but I kind of forgotten each time.
Yes.
Is that
Look at all those enemies.
I've read
Get ready for
somewhere
some
that there
serious
is
fighting,
the Japanese version of the game has like an online co-op section, and that was supposed to be like half of the game, co-op missions. And the American and the European version apparently did not get this, and I think that was the whole reason for like the fan servicey sort of costumes mainly, and even the fan servicey costumes in the Japanese version got different voices. So it was like, I guess, a customization thing for online play, and all the, I'd say over half the costumes were supposed to be unlocked through online play anyways. It worked something like this. Everybody worked together. When everybody won a mission, then they got some Square Enix points. And then when they got enough Square Enix points, they could go on to the Square Enix members site, since you have to register the game to get access to them, and then you could use them to unlock costumes in the game or something like that. Which is why a lot of people that had gotten the Japanese import of the game couldn't figure out how to unlock all these costumes. Were like, I want to unlock Lightning's costume, and then they figure out that, yeah, because they don't live in Japan, they can't do the online section of the game. And I need to stop myself before I forget, but people might already know this. The first feat of this area is to use that weapon there, the aiming device, kill things 10 times, I think, with it, then you get a feat. And the next feat is do not use overdrive. You can use overdrive kill all you want, but just don't overdrive between soldiers more than, I think, 5 to 10 times. Which is what makes it tricky to get because of the Queen boss fight, unless you can obliterate her. Again, if you want to easier your time getting it, I'd recommend bringing the unlimited ammo cheat code onto the save. But, no, to get back to what I was saying, people were complaining about it, that the only way they could, there was like alternate ways to unlock these costumes, but it required something like winning the game 50 times to unlock one costume, because what they could do was they could register their game on their Square Enix members account, and each time they won the game, they would get 1 point, as long as they were connected to the internet while they did it. So essentially they had to win it 50 times to get 1 Square Enix member point, where if you played a co-op session, and you, depending on how well you win, you'd get several points, and each session, mission, if you will, would take a lot less time than winning the game. So essentially, all the costumes were supposed to be unlocked through online play. I guess, to say it this way, the rest of the world just got a shitty port. In that they're like, well, we have the costumes. Well, we're not going to do new voices for each costume, so you know what? We're just going to give them the costume as bonus unlockables for winning the game. I think it's like the Lightning's costume, which is the hardest one to get, which is win the game 10 times. And you can speedrun the game in an hour about. If you play an easy when you have a maxed out character.
Get ready to run! Go!
But no, I think that's the main reason behind all the costumes, both as fan service and for online play customization. I'm kind of sad that they didn't include the online play, because as far as I've heard rumors going on about, it's basically half the game, so we got an even shorter version of the game. But then again, that would explain why the PSP title was so cheap. I bought mine new, and I got it for about $10.
Keep going straight.
That was the collector's edition we're talking about here. And that was a month after release. And if I have to buy a PSP title new, I probably have to pay anywhere between 30 or 40 bucks. Where I come from. Just to give people an idea. So, I don't know. I can't complain about the price of the game. I think I got a good action PSP title game if I completely ignore the story and the characterization for $10. I mean, I get less when I buy an indie game. Not that I'm dishing out indie games. I actually quite like indie games. Go buy Dungeons of Dreadmore. See? See, I like indie games so much, I have to plug in that game. Anyway, that was the... I should probably stop talking here and mention that the backtracking you saw there is part of the killing all the stinkers that do fog to get a feat. And most people will miss that section over and over again. That one little tiny backtracking section to get 4 or 5 stinkers. So if you're unable to get that feat, then that's why. You need to backtrack right there. The next feat is a little bit later, right before the boss, actually. And I'll talk about that when we get to it. But, yeah, I think I've talked plenty. I think I will just let you rest your ears. Let's get some dead air. I will start talking when the feet start popping up and all that.
This is Gabrielle. A girl?
What a waste of time. Let me get this straight. We're supposed to believe that what you're seeing right now in that machine is really the past? I'm detecting enemies above you. Are you helpless without having someone order you around? You better prove you're not wasting the nation's budget.
Up here, by the way, is where the last stickers are in the game, so enjoy them while they last.
Looks like we got company.
This is Gabrielle. That's her. I'm sure of it.
And up here, I'd suggest you take your time, because I've had word bugged out on me once or twice, where I left the early as soon as I could, and I didn't get the feat for killing all of the stinkers. For some reason, sometimes it can wig out a little, and yeah, you gotta give it a moment, and then it'll register it. Anyway, this room has the final feat of the episode, which is clear out this room really quickly or something like that. But all you need to do is destroy the first 2 big orbs as fast as you can. You can easily do that because things will still be spawning. But once that's done, basically you will 100% of the time get the feat for clearing out the room quickly. I think the idea is clear it out quickly because, well, they don't get to make it spawn more twisted when you kill the twisted.
I just got word from Hyde. He says he's found...
But that was the last feat of this episode. And, I'll toy a little with Monsini, make short work of her. But for now, enjoy the rest of the video, however short it is. I will see you for the episode 3 run. Me and Kaboom Dragoon will get together and do some commentary, and there's not really much more to say about that.
I'm sorry. It was too late for me. Gabrielle!